What's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of You Good. Right now, I'm checking in with my mentor. I've known this guy my entire career, and he's one of the best dudes in the business. I don't even know where to start with your accomplishments. Mogul,
Who you talking about me?
Entrepreneur. What is going on? And right now, I guess babysitter in the back. What's happening?
Oh, you can hear it? You can hear it?
Yeah.
That's Minka. That's my executive producer. She's she's just making sure everything is cracking. You know what I'm saying?
How is it balancing family life and running your empire while we're down on quarantine?
Woo! It's crazy, you know. Family life is great because I'm getting to see her, and I'm a Disney dad. You know, I just come and give her a couple of lollipop and toys. When she starts screaming, I bounce and kiss her. You know, so that's amazing, and I get to at least get my wife back for anything she does to me. I just spoil the baby and just bounce. Business is like all of us, right? You know, having to adjust to the new world and make a lot of tough decisions. You know, some great decisions and some really harsh ones where it affects people's lives, and and then of course the health world, right?
Yep.
This thing is crazy. You know, this thing, so it's affecting everybody because you can say, well, Daymond got $1 gazillion, but I also have myself and my wife. We also have underlying health issues. I have a mother. I have a kid who I can't put back in the New York City school system because she's going to come home with the virus every other day. And what's going to happen? So a lot of different things happening, man. A lot of different things happening.
How are you compartmentalizing your day? I'm sure you have a ton of Zoom calls. I'm sure you have a bunch of meetings. Do you put your day into a schedule, or does it kind of just all flow together?
Oh, no.
How important is that routine? How important is having that structure?
That routine, whether it's routine for, and I wish I could say TJ, I was perfect, you know, but that routine has to involve family time, nutrition, faith, working out, advancing your career, homework, putting out fires, and meditating. So, and getting enough sleep. So can I say that I'm winning on all those fronts? As a workout thing, man, for the first 3 weeks, I was crazy with it. And after that, the Tito's and the Cheetos came into play.
Both will hit you unexpectedly, man. What have you been watching? Any guilty pleasures during lockdown?
Nah, you know what? I haven't watched anything new. I watched Tiger King for the first week.
Okay.
I watched one joint with the dude Extraction. That dude
that was good.
He plays Thor.
Yep.
He was hitting him with the hammer. I watched a Wahlberg one recently, but that's it. And then I watch the markets. You know, I watch the markets and I watch the news. Period. Most of the time, I just need to know what's going on out there because I ain't treating this shit like Saturday. I'm gonna come out hard and heavy when I come back out on them. You know.
I feel you. Now I watch Billions. That's one of the shows I watch, and my man came through with the crazy cameo on an episode. My man Daymond John came through on that episode.
Nah, man. That was so. I'm 34 minutes in, 57 seconds. About, you know what I'm saying? About a minute and a half on the cameo.
Now, I mean, obviously you have a ton of TV experience doing Shark Tank for all these years, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But how was it doing acting, especially against such accomplished actors? How was that scene?
Man, I mean, first of all, you being an actor, I did go to acting school for a little bit, and I'm in some other stuff. I'm in like Sharknado 2 and stuff like that, and it's easy. But yeah, of course, it's intimidating, man, when you're sitting across people who made their career out of that. You know, I've always been proud of you, man, because, you know, you never fell back and had to get another job. You just hustled for every one of your jobs. That means you walked in the room with the same exact time and the same exact talent everybody had. You just had to produce and show that, you know, you ain't tall or short or different. You're going to deliver this shit the right way. And, you know, but the flip side of it is when I'm in the room, I was doing that, and, you know, they always go, great, 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 great. And you don't know, it's like great, 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 great. And as soon as you leave, you're like, man, thank God that idiot got out of there. Because I'm not an actor like you. So I don't know if the traditional is 10 takes, is it 20? I know they're gonna have to get the wide and then the medium and then the close and then back over the shoulder, both angles. I know that. So I'm assuming, you know, whatever, but I took about 20 takes. Now, I did take 20 takes because they allowed me to, and this is what I think makes Billions so riveting to everybody. The lines, and of course, they're written by, you know, people who may not look like me, you and me. And they're talking about a real situation where we've seen a lot of times, you've been there, yo, man, I'll give you 0.5% to put your face on something, and, you know, you just, you know, whatever. So at first it was like, they allowed me to do that part. So in there, basically I go, oh, you want me to be, at first, the first take I said, so you want me to be your Sambo. You want me to dance for you, da-da-da-da, So they kept the da-da-da-da, and then the real people who know what it is be like, oh, dude just said dancing for chicken. Yeah. So I love that because they let me be me. They touched on a very underlying issue that we know exists. We all have been there. You've been in our space for a long period of time. I just felt bad for the other dude's name is Daymond. Obviously, his name is Daymond, the actor. Yeah, Daymond Lewis. And so if I did it 20 times, that motherfucker was home like this at night hearing da 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 when he's trying to sleep. I felt bad for the dude, but I had a great time, man.
There's so much that go into those scenes. The only thing that matters is the finished product, and it looked incredible. But you know, when you talk about that, the world has kind of shifted, right? And we'll talk about power shift in a minute. But I remember Daymond John used to tell me how important it was to be specific. You were giving me those lessons 7-8 years ago, and you would say, T, if you love cars, talk about cars. Talk a little bit about, like, work on the brand. If you love clothing, work on the fashion line. And now it feels like the world is starting to catch up with lessons that you had 10 years ago. When you're seeing people that love to cook really honing in and being the cooking people, the dog people, the dog trainers. Like, how has the world shifted over these past 10 years with that level of specificity? And for people at home that are now faced with possibly losing a job, being furloughed, being laid off, having to reconsider what they're going to do with the rest of their life, how can they apply that lesson of specificity in what they do moving forward?
Yeah, and I think that there's two valid points. And so the world has gotten way more visual. And when you were that person who loved cars or loved this or loved that, if you were an actor or you were a sanitation worker or whatever the case is, generally you put in a box, and there was no other way besides in your private life to show people that aspect of your world, because you were either at the mercy of somebody broadcasting you or a newspaper. And, you know, when they're talking about you, they really have their outline, and they're like, okay, yeah, I'm glad you can cook, but who gives a shit? I got to get this story out this way. And then people don't know that, and you had to build that audience quietly, not quietly on purpose, but you had to really also love it. And that's why you'll look at a George Clooney, who they were building a couple of homes and they got with a couple of people and they found this tequila they love to drink. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, holy shit, where did Casamigos come from? But you didn't see all that in the 10 years that they were building that thing. You know what I mean? Or 5 years of building that thing, or Patti LaBelle, you didn't know about her cooking ability or whatever the case is. So that's why the world has gotten much easier now, and you can get your voice out in front of a lot of people. Also, when I was coming up in the business, we had to do market research and focus groups. Mm-hmm. You put a bunch of kids in a room, throw some pizza in there, give them $100, throw some shirts in there, and look at a peek hole and say, yo, you like that, son? You like that, son? And they'd be like, this is eating the pizza. Yeah, I like it. With my $100. Now, you don't need that no more, because you just pull up on social media, hashtag over cats who a hashtag. We're not talking about people who like you. If I pull up hashtag of FUBU, mm-hmm. I'm gonna find barriers. I ain't gonna find the cats who like me. Someone's gonna be like, yo, that shit is garbage. Yo, I hated that. Or it's baggage, or this and that. And I'm gonna be able to look at there and see what is the common thought process. And I'm also gonna be able to see the people who love it. What did they love? Where do they want it? And I think that that's the best thing about having public voices now. But for somebody who is, facing not having a job and other things like that, going back to exactly what you're saying, what is your assets? I mean, the only thing you are in charge of right now is your inventory. Mm-hmm. That's it, your assets. You cannot change if this disease is here or not. You and I, we walked in a room, we couldn't change that we were young African-American males. That's what it is. Tomorrow, I'm not going to be Asian, and tomorrow I'm not going to be Caucasian. That's what it is. Now, what are my assets of being that worker or that African-American male or that woman or that whoever the case is? So what are your assets? Is it the time you have on your hand? Is it a skill set? Is it your contacts and Rolodex? You know, is it a community you've been a part of? Is it you got your ass whipped before and you know now how to fight? You know, is it you were the kids in Seattle or up there, San Diego, wherever, and you couldn't find a place to live and you couldn't do anything, and you had maybe you couldn't pay your rent, so you came up with something called Airbnb. Like, yeah. What is your assets, right? Are you Hyatt Hotels who say, you know what, we got a highly skilled workforce here, we don't want to let them go. So what are we going to do? How do we keep them? Because we know the business is going to get back. CVS and Walgreens and Walmart all need new people to work for them. So here's what I'm going to do. This is a highly skilled work set. I will loan you these people for the period of time that you need them. You know they're highly skilled. Mm-hmm. I still retain my people. They're not getting poached. And when we get back, I slowly start bringing them back. Are you cool with that? And Walmart goes, yeah, now we don't have heavy turnover. And we know there are people who know what they're doing. So what are your assets right now? Yeah, what are your assets right now that you can use? And most importantly, your Rolodex is your most important asset. Yeah. Because whether you were at a company, and because I'll tell you something, I asked my employees, I said to them, what are we not doing that we should be doing or we should have done in the past? Or maybe you had an idea and you never told us. A couple of them raised their hand, and I was like, that's incredible. Why didn't you tell me that in the past? And they'd be like, I did, you moron. You just weren't listening. You were too busy. The people that you can get in front of everybody right now that you want, because you know what? They're all home on their couch fighting with their significant other and wondering, how can I make more money or change my life too? Yep. Call those people that you couldn't talk to 2 months ago. Because TJ, I mean, how many times you and I got to talk in the last 2-3 months? I'm on a plane, train, or automobile. You're somewhere. We find out we're in the cities 2 blocks away from each other, but we didn't talk to each other. Now, pandemic, yo, TJ, what's up, baby boy?
I got a 45-minute block of your time. That's the most time I've had in a while. I got to follow you on a book tour in order to get this much time, and I love it. I never looked at my Rolodex as my greatest asset, but you're right. As long as my Rolodex remains and my relationships, I can figure something out at all time. I can always get you. And
everybody now is trying to figure. 2 months ago, we were all like, man, I'm too busy. Oh, I got this other. I don't know how to fit it in. We're all trying to figure it out now.
Yep. There's so many different lessons like this in your new book. So tell us about it. Now, you make so much money doing so many different things. Why is remaining an author and hitting those lists so important to you now? And giving
I think you made a good point, right? I'm gonna keep it 100. You know, you don't make money off of books. You know that, right? Books you do not make money off of. And this is my 5th book, and I'm dyslexic, and this is my 3rd book in the last 3 years. But the first book I wrote was I wanted people to know who I was and understand that I knew the fundamentals of business. But after that, I was on Shark Tank. It's very hard to write books, 3 books in 5 years being dyslexic. But I found that every time I wrote a book, I would write another book because I felt that there were questions being asked that I didn't answer. So after my 4 books, I was like, I covered it all. So somebody would say, yo, I want to learn about branding and marketing. Go pick up The Brand Within. Oh, Daymond, I need money to make money. No, you don't. Pick up Power of Broke. And then the other one was, how do I maximize my time? And I'd be like, you pick up Rise and Grind. But I found that there was one more question, or there were a couple of things that as I was over the year after my last book that people kept asking me. They kept saying stuff like, yeah, you told me how to make money without making money, but this and that and all that. But you know what? I don't really have any power. I don't have no power to do so. Or when I got divorced, my wife took everything from me. I got no power. Or my family or my the kids, cats around, or my boss will not, allow me. And I said, why would you ever think that somebody else is in charge of your power, your direction, or has the right to author you that? I mean, okay, if you're 12 years old, you better listen to your parents. Yes, if you're 15 years old, maybe. But so I said, I gotta start writing down what it is for people, because I'm never gonna come to your house and take you off the couch and make you more powerful than me. I'm just not gonna do it. Mm-hmm. However, if I think that you are, and you add value to me, I'm selfish. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna come talk to you about it and find out how I can use your power with my power and make us both more powerful.
Yeah.
So I came up with the book idea, and then I wrote, and then I realized that life is really about what we negotiate, and so many people don't know how to negotiate because they think, because they're spoiled because of Shark Tank. They think you walk in a room for 8 minutes, you had a hard negotiation, you get the money, and you're gone. That's not how it works. You got to build influence. Yeah. Then you got to negotiate what's in the best interest for the other person, on the other side of the table, and then you got to honor and love that relationship and work on that relationship forever. Your Rolodex, whether a negotiation, whether a deal was fortified or not.
And I think
so I put it all together.
You brought up so many good points in that. One of the things that always gets lost in translation is how, when you're going in for a deal, is to make the deal mutually beneficial, to make sure that the other person on the other side. I just read another book called The Divine Law of Compensation, and it talked about how part of reaching that maximum level of getting what you need out of life is making sure that people around you that you're negotiating with are getting what they need as well. And that's something I've watched you do time and time again. Whenever you and I would do a deal, you know, I know you were getting your benefit, but you always made sure that I was able. You bought my first house with the deals that we did, right? And you always did that. How important is it, especially in times like now, for all of us to look out for the next man?
Yeah, I mean, everybody listening right now, everybody listening right now is superior, and they are a leader in something in whether their family, their church, their household, their life, or whatever the case is. And when you get pitched, you don't want to hear, here's my problem and why I need this and how you can solve my problem, right? You want what's in the best interest for you and to be able to do that. And that's why it's of interest to do it, because then I want to help you. And so power shift is not only about you taking power, but it's also giving power to the ones that work for you, the ones that love you, the ones that are in your community. And a lot of times people just don't know. It's not like they don't know what they want. They're not asking the right questions. You can go over to somebody and say, I want to do this deal, whatever the case is. And they'd be like, well, okay, cool. But I don't think we're going to do it. And you'd be like, and instead of saying, you might get offended. Instead, you say, well, how can I make this easier for you? What are your obstacles? What are you trying to solve? They'd be like, man, shit. Well, here's my obstacles. Even if you don't close the deal, because none of the deals I've ever closed have closed in the first meeting of the person besides Shark Tank. That person, even if they didn't close the deal, they'd go, that person was considerate enough to ask me. And they may even pick back up the phone later on and say, I was thinking about this thing, a challenge I'm having, and maybe this is for you. And that's the most important way. You also need to know how they communicate.
Yep.
And when I was writing the book, and here goes the book right now. When I was writing the book, and I got 12 subjects in there, and I got Kris Jenner in there, I got Pitbull, I got Mark Cuban, I got people that you will never hear of, I got Billie Jean King, and I'm going over their power shift and how they shifted power to them. And one thing interesting is, everybody knows, obviously, I know Mark Cuban. So when my team was reaching out to Mark to do the interview, they kept saying, well, he keeps pushing off the interview. Well, he's not available. He's not available. And I could have said, I sit next to dude for hundreds of hours. This is my man. We go drinking. We hanging out. Oh, but he on some Hollywood shit, huh? He don't want to do the interview for me, huh? I could have taken it that personal. And a lot of people take that personal when they approach you, TJ, and you may not have the time or whatever the case is. But I said to them, I said, you've been asking Mark to get on the phone. Yeah. He will do the whole interview. I promise you, this is the best way he does. He loves to text. That's what he does. Because you've all seen Mark give his email out publicly.
Yeah.
Interview was done in 24 hours over text.
Wow.
Now, but another cat would have got offended. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, just understanding that other person's point of view, their availability, the way they're processing, the challenges they have are the most important thing to get what you want.
There's somebody right now that owes me a call back on the interview, and what you just said helped me out. You cracked another code for me once again. Daymond John.
Well, just like me, TJ, if you ever send me a long email, I'm dyslexic. So it's not that I don't want to answer it. It's just that I look at that one. I look at the 30 I got. Yeah, if I got 30 of them, I'm going to answer the 20 that are short, and the long ones, I'm like, I'll get that later. And before you know it, it's all the way at the bottom.
Well, listen, man, everybody, make sure y'all check out Daymond's book. You got nothing but time right now. Power Shift. It's incredible. All these lessons and more are in there. Dame, like I said, man, you've been an inspiration in my life for many, many years, and I appreciate you for all that you do. Thank you, man.
Thank you for the reverse mentorship, man. You know, I love seeing you went out, you moved out to Hollywood, you know, you had those big, you know, you kind of had that little stick with the little bag on the back of it. Going out to Hollywood, everybody. And you did your thing, man.
I still got that stick, man. Shout outs, man, to Moonlight, man. They made this episode powered by. We appreciate y'all. This is another episode of Revolts. Are You Good? With my brother, Daymond John. Love y'all.